Yeah.
So congratulations, it's Motion Rehab's launch night tonight, and we're opening and celebrating the launch of the new Robotics and VR suite. Can I ask you what made you take the leap into robotics and VR?
So this has been a vision of maybe 2 or 3 years in the making of looking at neurological rehabilitation and how we maximise the outcomes for the clients that we're seeing. And I'd spent time looking at facilities and services across the UK, and then also went out to Europe and had a look at the delivery over there. And where I think traditional models have fallen short is using high repetition, high intensity training, which is a real challenge for physiotherapists to maintain engaging dynamic exercises. And rehabilitation technology has been growing massively. It's an industry in its own right. And I've wanted then to have a look at how do we implement the right bits of technology to really maximise outcomes. And this was where the Robotics Suite and VR Suite was born.
Okay, so some clinicians might be a little bit worried that robotics are going to come and take over and there'll be no need for clinicians anymore. What are your sort of thoughts on this?
I struggle to see why it has to be an either-or situation. I'm a qualified neurological physiotherapist. I have a very specific skill set, as do all of my team. We're highly trained, and patients still need that input. They still need hands-on therapy. What this is doing is augmenting that therapy, so giving patients the opportunities to practice movement patterns in a high repetition way. The technology that we've chosen means that they're doing good movement patterns, which only complements traditional physiotherapy. So it isn't one or the other. Robots aren't taking over our jobs. They work really well in combination together.
Motion Rehab has received some great press this week. What's the overall sort of feedback been from staff, patients and the industry alike?
The initial feedback has been phenomenal. So I think when we started to voice the ideas and the concept behind the rehab, it's been extremely well received. For people that have already had a chance to visit the facility, whether that's other health professionals, clients, family members and other staff working within my team, the feedback's just phenomenal. What we've really noticed is how engaged the patients are. The days fly by, both their therapy sessions. They can't believe that they've done a session and it's ended and they just want to keep on going. So it's kind of tempering their enthusiasm a little bit in therapy sessions. Mm-hmm. And the media seem to have responded really well. I think we are the first within the UK, and I think people are really giving us feedback that this is something that's been missing for a long time.
So can I ask you, what was your rationale around your choice of devices?
So to start off, we wanted to have a look at devices that offered a full solution to upper limb training. I think that's an area of neuro rehab that is frequently neglected. And after looking across the marketplace, our starting point was with the TYRO solution from TYROMOTION. And these are a range of robotics and virtual reality and gaming devices that are focused on upper limb rehabilitation. What I liked about them is that we can do very selective choices of movement, so we can minimise patients' compensations or the bad movement patterns that we don't want, and that really complements hands-on therapy. The software is all integrated, so we get a range of outcome measures across the devices, which provides really interesting feedback for the therapists, but great feedback for the patients on how they're functioning and how they're working and how they're improving. What was also unique is there's quite a lot of cognitive challenges. So for people with neurological conditions, quite frequently their thinking skills are impaired. So maybe their memory or their planning or their processing, which has a big impact on their day-to-day activities. And TYROMOTION have really thought about this with their software, their games and their products. So it complements both physiotherapy and occupational therapy. Choice of devices was working with TheraTrainer, and we spent a lot of time researching a device to help with balance re-education, and the PABLO works really well, so it's a very dynamic standing frame, and again we can use software to give people feedback as to how they're doing, and looking at training balance, which helps with not only walking but their day-to-day activities. The LYRA was probably the little bit of kit that we spent time considering with regards to gait re-education or walking re-education. I was very firm in my ideas that this concept was about rehabilitation. It was about giving people the ability to do something for themselves. So what I didn't want was a device that would replace their walking ability. It was about enhancing their walking ability. And the data behind the LYRA, both from clinical research and anecdotal evidence, says that the outcomes for patients are so much better with an end effect gait training device. So currently that's what our robots and VR suite looks like.
Thank you. Good luck with your launch this evening.
Thank you.